Well, hello everybody, yet again. Welcome back to my channel. And it is moving day. So I would like to show you a little bit of what it's like to move my RV, which if you're new around here is a big, almost 43-foot fifth wheel, Jayco 377 RLBH, and I tow it with a dually, which you'll see. Yeah, I need to move. I've pushed my moving schedule back about 2 days already because I really like this spot, which, as you can see, is just absolutely beautiful. I'm here along a ridge off of County Road P in Canyons of the Ancients National Monument. It's BLM land. I could stay here until Monday. It's Tuesday right now. So I've been here, this will be day 8. And so I could stay until Monday, but the problem is that I'm basically out of fresh water or approaching out of fresh water, and I am pretty much filling up my gray water tanks. I have ordered some water bladders and a transfer pump and all of that kind of pro boondocking equipment, which I'll show you when I get it later this week, but I don't have it yet. So I can't stay here. If I had that stuff, I pretty much would have already just, gone to town and dumped gray water and picked up potable water and stayed, but I can't. Also, the eclipse, the annular eclipse, is coming up on Saturday, and well, I'm not super far away from Mesa Verde. I think I'd like to try and just go to Mesa Verde, and because they've got program and stuff like that, and they've got eclipse classes and stuff. So I'll be probably relocating over toward Mancos a little bit. So anyway, today I'll show you kind of bits and bobs of moving the RV, so you get a sense of what that's like if you're considering RV life or just interested in kind of what all the things you have to do especially when you're by yourself. So here we go. So I am boondocking, so I don't have any hookups, which is kind of nice in the sense that I don't have anything that I have to disconnect from utilities. But as a bit of a preview, I'll have to put away the Starlink. I will really not have to do much else externally. I have a flagpole, so I'll just have to take down and stow my flag, Slava Ukraini. I probably won't, and it hasn't been snowing or raining or anything a whole lot, and I don't have any leaves really that can go on the slides. So thankfully I won't have to take down the porta shit tank. But if it had been snowing or raining or have to clean off the slides or whatever, I'd probably have to get up there. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to do externally. Most of the work is inside. So I'll probably make a video about this on its own. There's a lot of glare, but you can see this is a total lie. This is the tanks screen of the BM Pro system that these later model Jaycos run on, and you can also use this on your phone. But you can see it says empty. Or the freshwater tank is empty. It's been like that, I don't know, for 4 or 5 days. You just kind of have to know your system. These tank sensors, there's plenty of YouTube videos about how these are lies, but the freshwater tank is a little less subject to that because it doesn't gunk up as much. The thing about it is, though, that where the sensors are placed, it's not really, empty. I do want to get one of those sort of sonar-based sensors to put at least on the freshwater tank, but I'm too poor right now to do it. So whatever. But like all of these other tanks, the gray water tanks are a little bit more accurate, but not by much. And you'll know when these are full, right? And the black tank sensor is just complete bullshit. So I have ignored these for the last few days because I just know how my system works. And so one thing that I've done is I'll do a video about this, but I have a remote disconnect switch for the inverter. So I've already turned that off just so I'm not cycling the inverter on and off as I turn the RV master switch on and off. And that's just a display of the 190 watt panel that came with the RV. I kept it attached because it's got its own controller here. I'll do a separate video about my solar system. But yeah, this is all a lie. So I won't, give you a step-by-step me putting every last thing away montage, but this is kind of a good example of what the RV looks like after I've lived in it, for a week. I've got stuff from projects that, I'm slowly working on, pots and pans and like books that I have no place to put at the moment. These are the kinds of things that just kind of, linger on. I'll have to put the televator down. That's really easy to do. I travel with all of the shades up because I don't want them rattling around. Make sure all of the windows are closed. That'll be part of the exterior check before we leave as well. I will do all of the dishes. I have a dishwasher. I'll sort of show you some tips and tricks on putting that in. That's aftermarket, and I also had to do my own mod of this drawer or whatever it is opening right there when I put that in. But I do use that when I am boondocking. It uses about 2.5 gallons per load, which if I fill it up is a pretty good deal as compared to trying to do it washing my water consumption. So I'll put as much as I can in the dishwasher, even if I won't run it until I get new water, and then I'll wash the rest of the dishes. I always try to leave a little bit of extra water in the tank that I think I still have left to be able to do dishes. I'll do this first so I can let those dry while I'm futzing on other things. So all of this will get put away. Also, this is a great time to clean a lot of these surfaces. If you don't clean, especially like the range really regularly, it gets super gunked up. Not much to do with the fridge. I do run the fridge on propane only while I'm boondocking, even though I have an inverter going. In the office, I put my office chair. This is a diesel heater mod that I'm sort of slowly working on. I have to get a new exhaust pipe for it. I'll do a whole video on that. So I'll have to clean up all of these tools and put them away. I put the office chair up on here. It kind of shoves in pretty well and stays put while I move. So this is kind of what my office looks like. I'll give you a full tour at some point, but take the trash out, or I'll put the trash in the truck and find somewhere to throw that away today, but don't want the trash to be funky. And then sort of last things, I'll clean up the bedroom, but then last things in the bathroom, I take the shower head and I just place it down here because a lot of times it will fall and I'd rather it not shatter, even though it's plastic. The plastic would break or whatever. That's one of those Oxygenics shower heads. Everything else in here pretty much stays put. I will empty this trash and put the scrubby into the trash can because otherwise it'll dump out and sometimes it's got gross water in it. This is a great chance to just switch out a towel, put all of this away. You can put stuff in the sink while you move. That's a convenient sort of hack. And then obviously cleaning up the bedroom, which is a bit of a mess. So, if I was really being a good boy, I would have done a lot of this last night, but I am not in a hurry today. And so long as I'm on the road by about noon today, I will consider that to be a win. So big jump cut, and all of this will probably be done. Okay, so sort of progress update. I actually did end up running the dishwasher and kind of ran out of water like during the dry cycle, heat dry or whatever. So that worked out perfectly. Good reminder too that you need to listen to your water pump, because I heard the pump going, which is down there in the basement, and then I heard this thing cycling. I didn't want to blow the pump on either of them, so I shut off the main water pump because it was out, and then I turned this off. Most everything was clean. There was like one bowl that still had some schmutz on it, but no big deal. So yeah, I put all of the dishes away. I just transport my bowls like this with a towel in there to keep them from totally scratching each other up. The little extension to the island, which goes on this, it extends out. I just put under one of the covers back there, and it sort of lives there during transport. Some of this stuff doesn't really have a home, but it hasn't really moved around a whole lot, and I kind of just stick that on there. Need to still put away, little bits and bobs like remotes and stuff like that. All of my coffee making stuff goes up here. A lot of the kitchen stuff goes in the sink, as well as sort of the same kind of thing with the towel between some of those pans. I've got a magnetic mount for some of the knives. So, this is kind of halfway toward packing up the interior. I still need to roll up the rugs and take care of the bedroom. So, one of the many advantages of RV life versus van life is that I can do things like hang on to some of my art and hang it on the wall. So I use these, command strip wall art hanger things. As I talk about this, I think I could probably figure out something with like VHB tape or something much stronger and really anchor them permanently to the wall. I don't know about that. I just transport them when I'm moving on my bed here, and then, just grab all of the art. There's Down with Inflation from two of these are from my dad, my late dad, his art. And so I just kind of put the comforter up over them, and works out fine. So one of the nice things, it definitely turns like a blank wall, in your RV into, some of your own space. It makes it feel much more like a home. I think probably something, where you can hang them up and change out the art that you want and stuff like that, or change the position would be good. Like, if somebody moves in at some point, you move in with a girlfriend or something like that, and she wants some of her art, makes it a little bit easier. But that's my solution for art. And so I'm getting pretty close. I start making sort of a pile of stuff that's going to go in the truck while I'm gone. I put that here just because, that's the door. What I do with the rugs is I roll them up and I put them back behind here. These chairs kind of keep everything back there. And then, these straps came with the RV. You can strap the chairs down. If for nothing else, I don't really think they're going to go flying, but they won't go flying, and it keeps those rugs there. A lot of times I will Swiffer and or vacuum or whatever, but it's pretty clean, and I'm kind of eager to get going. The weather is beautiful. It started off pretty overcast. These are more clouds in the sky than we've had all week. So still got pretty lucky, and the solar is charging up the batteries. So I'm kind of, getting ready to go. So the next thing is I'll put my travel shoes on, and I will start moving the slides in. So yeah, saying goodbye to this beautiful spot, but also, I am a good Boy Scout. I am a Eagle Scout, and also just became an assistant scoutmaster, at least in the summers. And, one of the things you learn in the Boy Scouts is leave no trace. And right over there, I found this, I don't know how long this thing has been here. It's real, UV bleached, but I think that you should, take a look around your campsite if you're boondocking, or really anywhere. And if you can, throw some trash out, because, if we are not good stewards, the evil government will make even more restrictions on us. So pick up your trash and throw it away. The BLM is already starting to do rulemaking to, consider conservation to be or not conservation, but sort of more aggressive conservation efforts, I guess I'll say, as a land management priority that will be balanced with public use. And so if we don't take care of this land, the bureaucrats will take it away from us. Okay, well, I think it's slide time. So everything is as buttoned up as it's going to be. Some of this stuff might I'll probably take this out to the truck. This is just a collection of spare parts that I'm kind of holding on to while I do that diesel heater project. So I'll grab my water bottle. Everything that sort of can fall or move or whatever has been secured. I will keep the fridge on in propane mode, because as soon as I start at the 12 volt and it has gas, it will cool even while I'm setting up camp later. I really don't find that anything really goes bad even after 6 or 8 hours. If you keep the doors closed and you don't access it, no big deal. So anyway, on these 2021 North Points, it still has these manual controls. You don't have to do everything through the app, which I really like. If you've never seen a slide operate, there you go. I also just did some slide maintenance. I won't bother you with it because this isn't really a how-to video. But put some PTFE lubricant on all of the slide moving parts, because they were starting to sound a little creaky, and I haven't really done that before. You can hear that horrible noise when the teeth are missing, but that's how you know it's all the way closed. These are both rack and pinion slides. The other slides are Schwintek or worm gear. You can see this kind of like, I need to, maybe when I set up later, like there's a piece of, tape that has gotten all mushy in there. I have that replacement tape. I can't remember what it's, is that VHB tape too? I think so. I need to replace that, but it's the second time I've noticed that. It's not a huge deal, but this is a great reminder that you really need to be paying attention to everything, right? Like even while I've got the slide in, I should do an inspection, right? I can see all of this part, but I can't really see the inside, right? Making sure that all of that looks, reasonably normal. For instance, early on when I had the RV, all of this plastic sort of, or whatever it is, rubber gasket there had fallen off the track. So I had to get in there and make it more better, right? So anyway, putting the slides in. So now things are starting to get real. We put the steps up into the entryway. We'll close up the door. I do have a puck lock that goes up on here, mostly just as a deterrent if I leave it like at a dealership or service or storage or whatever. Look, these things are not the most secure in the world, but it is a deterrent. But I don't like having that little thing flapping around, the clasp or whatever. So I put it on there even if I'm just moving around, so I don't have any weird noises. And then we'll bring up the leveling gear and really start getting serious. Okay, so we're here over on the service side of the RV. The pump is off because the red light is off. There's not much going on over here aside from the fact that I don't love, how I've got everything sort of set up here. That's very top heavy. Might even change that. Put the toolbox on the bottom. That's just kind of how I had it because I've been in and out of here getting tools. It's pretty tight in here. Like I need to just figure out a better just place to stick. Like that's just a 5-gallon bucket, that's helpful to have for lots of reasons, but it doesn't need to live in the basement. The freshwater jugs take up a lot of space, so I'm always improving how I'm storing all of this. If you have this kind of fifth wheel, if you've got a North Point, you'll notice that the leveling system control used to be up here where there's just that cutout. and this is a whole other video. People have done stuff about it, but basically the way that they have the flex tubing behind the water manifold system is very susceptible to leaks because of how they make a very inappropriate connection between the PEX fittings and the flexible tubing. And so it came apart, and basically, and I was hooked up to city water pressure at the time, and it flooded this whole backside, got a bunch of water in this thing, and these controllers are like $1,000 to replace. Thankfully, I was in warranty at the time, and my dealer was really great to deal with, and they replaced it. But basically, this enclosure used to be right there where you can see my very amateurish, fire break. It closed up the connection of all of that electrical wiring that came out from the battery storage side. So right there, it's sort of this thing, and it's got like a hollow side on the side. So what I did was I just took that, because I had put in all of my solar and inverter equipment here, which I'll do a video on at some point. And I moved all of that over here, and just made these little cutouts, and rerouted the wiring, and also put in this CO and LP leak detector bat down here, because the only other one is in the kitchen, which is well over there. And because I'm doing the diesel heater install, I wanted to have another CO detector in the basement. So that's why my leveling controls are here. If you are going to move this leveling controller, you need to make sure that you, and it's very easy to do, there's instructions online from Equalizer, to tell the controller that it has changed orientation with relation to the coach, because it's got I don't even know what you would call it, just a motion sensor in here, position sensor, and you have to tell it now that it is oriented facing sort of lengthwise of the coach as opposed to on the side. So now we're just gonna, turn this on, and we are going to make sure that there's no errors when we turn it on, and we're gonna hit all retract, and that's going to bring up the hydraulic jacks. Now, it won't necessarily bring them up all the way, because the sensing on the hydraulic pump is not perfect, right? So you want to visualize that all of the hydraulic jacks have come up. I've also had warranty work I had to have done while I was in warranty on the hydraulic jacks, but it succeeded this time, brought them all the way up. Now, it won't, and I think some systems will return the nose of the coach to the place where it was when you unhooked and started leveling, or started auto leveling, but it doesn't do that. I don't know if that's an option or whatever. So basically now, and you can see the lights are out down here, which means that the controller thinks that they are all the way up, and then I'll manually start raising the leveling jacks up to a point where I think, they'll be close enough for the truck, and then I'll start pulling the truck around and get it at the appropriate height to bring up. So you want to always double check all of these controllers. They're great, but when it auto levels, it doesn't get it quite perfect. When you tell it to all retract, it doesn't always necessarily get it perfect. So you have to visually check and know your systems. Look, these things are built like crap in many ways, but also you have a contract with your RV to know what you're doing with the RV, right? It's just, I think RVing is great because it helps you learn about a lot of systems like low voltage, even higher voltage, electronics, and plumbing, and propane, and all of the rest. But you can't be going to the dealer every time you're like, oh the jacks don't come up all the way when I hit all retract. They're not, you have to use your brain, right? Even if you have $1 million Class A coach, you have to use your brain when you're doing these things. It's crazy. I'll have to do a whole video on warranty work at some point too, and people's unrealistic expectations. But yeah, some things will break, but some things you just have to make sure that you're using your tools properly. Okay, so I pulled the truck around to, in front of the RV, tried to square myself up so that I'll be, more or less on target when I start backing up to catch the kingpin. A lot of people on fifth wheels, a lot of people are grossed out by sewer stuff. I'm not. You're not going to get that kind of content from me, clickbait shit. But this tub is full. This is a nice heavy duty tub that I had when I first started moving out of my sticks and bricks home a few years ago. And now it has the distinct honor of being the poopy tube, as my girlfriend says, container. I keep this in the bed of the truck. I'll just secure it down with a ratchet strap. Man, I tell you what, ratchet straps are key for RV life. And I'll put that ratchet strap up over top of this, which I feel like secures it a little bit better. Like if you can catch one of these little lips here and keep it toward the front of the bed of the truck. I prefer to have this up here because then when I go to like a dump station, I don't have to go access anything, like in the RV. I can just use this here. And then, when I'm parked at a campsite or whatever and I'm tooling around and I don't want to drag that thing around, I can just put it under the nose. So, everybody's preference will be different on that, but that's what I use this tub for. I have a B&W companion fifth wheel hitch. You will wonder, what's this lock for? Well, the lock, I'm trying to do this one-handed. The lock doesn't do anything to secure the trailer to the, it doesn't do anything to secure it like while you're going down the road. What it does do is disallow anybody, there's, I don't know if it's tall tales or not, but it's enough for them to put that there. It disallows anybody that doesn't like you from coming along while you're like parked at, the grocery store, from coming along and doing this to you. And then as soon as you pull off, you're going to dump your trailer. It is a safe, it's a safety consideration around having people do stupid shit to you. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know what? For the cost of a cheap master lock as a deterrent, I'll do it. Okay, so I've backed the truck up to where now I can get a good gauge of the height of the hitch, or of the pin box. This thing is the pin box. It is the box that holds the pin. I will connect my 7-way trailer wiring to the truck. There's an extension there. And then also I will connect the breakaway cable. I just connect it to that little guy that's in the bed of the truck. The breakaway cable is easy to forget, and I have definitely forgotten it before because, unless it's just pulled out and it's engaging the brakes, the electric brakes, there's no way for your truck to know if that's connected or not. So one thing is I have to be pretty squared up to the back of the coach to have the tailgate open. A lot of times what I like to do is get it, advanced enough to where I can put the tailgate up. I have, and this is the one time that I've been rushed getting out of a camp spot, and left the tailgate down and then backed up and I tagged this door. It's not a huge deal. That's not structural. I'll probably just put another vent in there to make it look like it never happened. But don't be rushed while you're doing any of this. That's the way that you're going to have failures. So look, I'm sure there are some people that get in and out of their truck a lot less when they hook up, but I would rather be very deliberate. I am not a professional trucker. I don't do this every day, right? So I got the truck close enough here to where I can see that I'm just going to ride up and over. I might even bring the trailer down just a smidge. I'm going to ride up and over the hitch and catch that. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. I hooked up all of the wiring, made sure that the truck, I came in here and hit the trailer brake controller, and I have control of the trailer. I'll check the lights and everything when I do my walkthrough. I did put the tailgate up, okay? I still have the landing gear down, right? And my wheel chocks are still on the trailer. So that's kind of my midpoint. It's like when they dock to the space station. This is my close in right? This is my close-in last chance to check everything before you go into the danger zone check. So as Diesel Creek would say, we have contact, except not in the same way, because he says that when he tries to start up an engine. But you can see I was probably just right spot on. There's really not any daylight between the kingpin and the pin box plate and the plate of the fifth wheel hitch. Okay, you can see that the jaws are engaged. So what I'll do, I'll step up on the wheel here. This is nice that I am tall, and we're gonna come in here. That should be really easy to engage because the jaws are already closed. I will put the safety pin in, okay? I have forgotten that once. It embarrassed the hell out of me. I was very, very lucky that nothing bad happened, right? I think it's important to acknowledge our mistakes. I have made many of them, as well as our successes. I am not perfect at this. So all of that looks good to me from this position. We'll jump off of the truck. We're gonna come over here. I'll have to turn this guy back on, and then we're going to bring the weight of the trailer, and it will move a little bit. That freaked me out at first, you know, when I first started doing this. And we'll bring the weight of the trailer down, and we'll bring the landing gear all the way up. So there's that one. Usually they're a little bit uneven, so we can see that the other one is up, and I can put the tailgate up. So that looks good. So we're getting mighty close. So what I do next is I'm going to start kind of doing my walk around. Also, you know, I'll talk about my TPMS at some point, but I do have the TPMS going. It will connect to the trailer. The trailer does have a repeater on it. And so we want to make sure that the repeater comes up as well, and that it sees all of the tires on the trailer. You can see, so the repeater, that just came on, I don't know if you can see that, but is wired up to the marker lights signal, so it gets power only when we're hooked up. And I turn the hazards on. So I want to make sure that my truck lights, I bought this certified pre-owned. I did have problems with my truck. There was a rotted out harness back here. You want to make sure that your lights come up, that all of the marker lights are flashing as you expect them to. I have had problems with this, right? I've had to warranty replace one of those combination marker light camera setups. I can see that the camera light up there is engaged, so we'll make sure that the rear view camera, it's got that Furrion system that seems comes with pretty much every RV. Mine was pre-installed because this is a sort of higher end RV. So that's great. You know, these are the kinds of things that can and do fail. And so you have to check them every time, no exceptions. So one thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna turn off the main AC, or DC, excuse me, power distribution. We're going to turn off our propane. Look, if anybody comes into my comments and says that it's safe to drive down the road with your propane tanks open, that is totally untrue. I guess if I were being really intense about this, I would bleed out the lines. I should actually really start doing that. This is a good reminder that I'm going to do that going forward, but at least turn them off. That is ridiculous that people go down the road with them, you know, or even propane appliances running, which is insane. So I will go through here and lock everything up. And at this point, basically, I pull the wheel chocks. I keep them on until the very last moment, because if I start moving and the wheel chocks are still down, it means I didn't do my check properly. I make sure, you know, that I didn't forget the flagpole, that there's nothing that's going to impede my movement or anything like that. I make sure all of the slides are nice and flush. This is also how I found out that I needed warranty work. The kitchen slide was out of alignment. And so I make sure all of the slam latches are closed. And then, my friends, and I'll pick up this guy right now. My hands are full, that block. And then we're going to be good to go. I have been informed by a lot of great YouTube content. I'm not making any of this stuff up. I'm just relaying to you kind of what my routine is all in that I have learned. Two good acronyms as you're moving around, especially if you are not used to driving a rig this big. This is 60 feet long, all in, okay? I am a firefighter. I was a structural firefighter before I started RV life. I had some experience. I've never held a CDL, but I had some experience driving larger vehicles, but not towing a large vehicle that's like articulated like this. So I had to watch a lot of YouTube and go careful, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Two acronyms that will help you out. One is GOAL, which is get out and look. If you have a question in your mind about where you are spatially, or what's going on, or what was that noise, or what did I see in the rearview mirror, get out and look. That's a trucker thing. And then the other one is water. Walk around the entire rig. We have walked around the entire rig now twice, maybe 3 times in the course of getting ready to go, and we're better for it. So, all right, well, that's the video for today. Hope this was interesting to you, and mahalo.